You're listening to Chugging Bleach, the only podcast where the bounce count.
Welcome to Chugging Bleach, the show where we watch all of Bleach in order, mostly. I'm your host, Bob Video Games, and with me, as usual, Dan Video Games.
I'm actually Anime Danime. Dan Video Games couldn't make it. Hello, I like anime and anime movies.
That's great. Chris Wolfhart.
I've forgotten everything.
And Dr. Agro.
Did Chris already do the forgetting bit? I can't remember.
This might be rough.
I just hope at the end of this, people will still remember me.
This time we watched Bleach, the movie 3, Fade to Black.
Or as I like to call it, Uryu's secret appearance in some other character because it's the same voice actor.
Sometimes it's easier just to hire some guy who's already in the department.
Listen, Rukia, it's me, your good friend. No, not Uryu. Don't bring that up.
He's not in this movie.
He's not in this movie.
We, in fact, got rid of everyone from the Earth.
God, it's so funny.
Except Cone, your favorite character.
Yeah, that's a crime. I'm writing that down on the demerits right now. Oh, good. A feature-length movie where Cone keeps yelling, "Big sister!"
You're acting like that's not what you wanted.
It's not.
Obviously, someone told them it was. Otherwise,
Someone told them that Anime Danime, wanted that?
Yes.
I'm going to sue.
But before Dan can sue, Chris, can you tell us about Patreon and how it lets you get things early?
It helps me afford my attorney?
Yes.
If you'd like to get this show early, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcasts. For as little as $5 a month, you get early access to this show and many other benefits. And in fact, if you're listening to this show on YouTube right now, on the Patreon, there's another episode waiting for you.
Wow.
So patreon.com/gbpodcasts. I've forgotten the rest of this spiel. Give us money.
Yes, please. We made it through the filler.
We finally escaped. I told Bob contextually, watching the other movie when we weren't in filler was fine because it was a weird change of pace. This being our last, okay, hold on, you're almost to the surface. You can almost breathe again. Made it truly bizarre as an experience.
Yeah, maybe we should have done like 5 episodes of the show and then done the movie, but
Just come up for air for a little.
right.
That's a treat.
Yeah, that would have helped. But I'm not sure any circumstances would have saved this movie.
Yeah, which movie are you watching? What is the name again?
Fade to Black.
I guess I should start recapping it. Here we go.
Yeah, let's go. Really, honestly, guys, it just needs to beat the last movie. That's all I need to do. It needs to in my mind.
That's your bar. It
Yes.
just needs to be better than movie 2, the movie where people care very much about Shorty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the
Let's
lore
see if
about the
it's better.
fucking Sunbactos.
Yeah, the double Sunbactos.
They were attached at first by the
Let's
penis.
see about this. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, you do it, Chris.
So Mayuri is modding Skyrim on his giant evil organ computer. He apparently had a mod conflict because some weird flower thing with like an evil vial inside shows up, and Mayuri says he's completed it. Then a Grim Reaper, like a Western-style Grim Reaper with a scythe, attacks him and slashes him, and it doesn't hurt him at all, but it seems to fuck up his mind, like, more than normal. Nimue shows up, but he, like, lost his memory and starts shitting and pissing and throwing a fit and running away and falling over, and then the scythe guy activates the thing Mayuri made, and the big computer goes insane, and Nimue's trying to comfort Mayuri, but he's throwing a fucking fit, and he stabs the computer.
Yeah, Windows 11 updates get me like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want the DualSense to be my sound output. Why would I want that?
That's it. I'm going to blow up Soul Society.
So there's like an emergency bulletin and Soul Reapers gather outside Mayuri's research tower, which I do not believe he had before this movie. I don't think it was a tower. I think it was just a normal building.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Renji and Shuhei talk about how it's so weird outside. Then a big evil snake cloud made of semen comes from the sky and starts owning everyone. And the Soul Reapers retreat, and Iba gets sucked into like the semen mass, and Mayuri's still throwing a fit, and Kenpachi shows up and says, Man, I knew you'd go nuts. I finally get to kill you now.
It's so good.
Yes.
He doesn't even it's not even a beat. He's like, oh, that finally popped off. Okay.
Mary attacks him and even summons the poison baby, but Kenpachi's Kenpachi. The weird cum snakes freeze and destroy Mary's Bankai and even swallow Kenpachi, and it's like this big tidal wave sweeping over everything. It is vaguely visually similar to Orochi, and it eats a bunch of Sarate.
Listener, I know right now you're like, it can't possibly look that much like a tidal wave of semen snakes and waves, right? Dude, who greenlit this concept for the movie?
No, it's fine. It's reishi. It's Scott. Just say it with me. It's reishi.
Every time it showed up on screen, they're like, just so we're all on the same page, this is definitely reishi and nothing else.
Like, oh, I'm really excited the filler arc is over. How excited.
Yeah. Rukia shows up far away and is like, this is fucked. And then she hears the voice telling her not to get any closer. And a giggling ghost lady appears and says she's going to erase Rukia's existence. And then the scythe guy appears behind her and slashes her. The white goo continues to eat Sarate. The giggling girl says she hopes every Soul Reaper dies. And the guy says, well, they deserve to die. And then Rukia has the empty eyes that let you know she's been brainwashed. And we cut to the fade to black logo. Cut to Karakura Town. Ichigo senses something across fucking dimensional barriers which shouldn't be possible for anyone, much less him.
He just got bad vibes.
Kon is reading the letter Rukia left. It's gibberish with little drawings. Ichigo has forgotten Rukia exists. Kon throws a little cone fit over this, but Ichigo smacks him and then goes to bed, and he has dreams about Rukia and remembers her. He then takes the letter and from Kon and decodes it, and it literally just says, I gotta go do an errand in Soul Society. I'll be back in a second. It's not some crucial plot info. It's just, gotta go.
Yeah.
Ichigo goes to see Urahara. Ururu gives him tea. Urahara no longer knows who Rukia is, but she's still in his Rolodex, and this is the lamest possible version of memory erasure, where it's yeah, but all the physical things are still here, so it's real easy to figure out something's wrong. Urahara tells Ichigo, yeah, Mayuri fucking went insane and caused the apocalypse. And then Urahara's like, maybe something's also affecting our memories. And Ichigo's like, can you open a Senkaimon? I'm gonna go to Soul Society. And then we cut back, and there's the concrete goo has buried tons and tons of people.
Concrete and nothing else.
Yes.
Yes, the semen that hardens into concrete.
Soul Society completely unprepared to deal with any crisis that cannot be solved with a sword fight.
Yeah.
Ichigo and Kon both go? Why does Kon go?
It was in his contract, I guess.
Because apparently someone told them that I wanted this.
They end up in the sky, and then they see the weird concrete, the weird cum covering everything and how everything's horrible. Some jobbers guard a gate, including bowling ball guy whose name is Omaida, and I will try to remember it from now on. They're jobbers guarding a gate, so you just know they're fucked. The ghost girl and the scythe guy appear watching the gate carrying Rukia. Ichigo finds Shuhei and tries to talk to him, but the cum snakes activate and attack them. Ichigo bankais and slices it in half. He even uses the mask, but slicing it in half doesn't really fucking do anything. It just has two heads now and starts owning everybody. Omeda and all his guys get owned and smashes open the gate they were guarding. The ghosts then say, our future with Rukia awaits. Whatever they did to Rukia also erased everybody's memories of Ichigo.
Yeah, I guess the idea is since Rukia wasn't there, then Ichigo wouldn't have come to Soul Society, so they wouldn't know him.
Actually, later in the movie, they imply it's because Rukia gave Ichigo his powers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what?
Right. They got sort of soul linked, so the power just sort of skipped over.
Yeah, it's oops, got some on Ichigo. Reishi, that is. Got some Reishi on Ichigo.
Yeah, nothing else.
Shuhei and Ichigo fight. Then Renji shows up, and he also forgot Ichigo. Renji also forgot Rukia, and then chases after Ichigo. Then Komamura fucking shows up, and Ichigo tries to run, but Komamura bankais and summons his huge fucking night thing. Ichigo knocks it over, but it swipes at him and sends him flying too. Rukia wakes up in a house in the Rukon district. She flashes back to being impoverished because Soul Society is a shithole. The ghosts show up and the girl tackles her. Rukia doesn't know who she is, but the girl is crying on her happy and they know her, but we don't get to find out anymore. Captain's meeting. Captain's meeting.
Finally.
Captain's
meeting. I was going to say, Aggro, they know how to solve problems with two things. One thing is sword fighting, which solves some of them, and captain meetings, which solve nothing. So I would love for Soul Society to deal with the pandemic, because the first thing they would do is call a captain's meeting.
The cum snakes fucked everything up. They recap the movie so far and then say, man, this is fucked up. Then Ichigo's won it again. We sure didn't just do that in a fucking filler arc.
They have literally one idea.
Ichigo wakes up in the sewer and Hanataro heals him again, just like the Soul Society arc. Hanataro kind of remembers things, but not really.
Look, Hanataro just lives in the sewers and does this.
I love that so much, because that's how I imagine him, right? I always just imagine he's down there, no matter how much that doesn't make fucking sense.
Look, he was cleaning.
He got off of his shift at the gas station in the human world and then went back to the sewer.
Rukia is with the girl and the guy. She thinks she knows them but can't remember. She apparently knew them when they were younger and they were urchins with no name. She was going to name them, but something bad happened before she could. Cut to Byakuya. He sort of vaguely remembers Rukia, but doesn't really. Ichigo shows up to talk to him, and it seems like it's sort of working, but then Byakuya's squad and Renji shows up. Renji tries to fight Ichigo, and Ichigo watches him immediately with Bankai. Because, remember, Renji only learned how to use his Bankai to save Rukia, so he can't fucking use it now.
Yeah, I liked seeing that they redid some of the exact shots from the original fight and made them look real movie nice. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Renji maybe sort of remembers from the sense memory of fighting Ichigo, but he just gets owned. Byakuya seems like he's going to fight Ichigo, but Ichigo's like, oh no, not again. Fuck that. I didn't deserve to win the first time. I'm not going to try this a second time.
Your friend who wins at a fighting game is like, I'm done playing this forever. Thank you.
Cut to Rukia in the shithole. She remembers these two are dead or should be. Renji is in traction and still only sort of remembers. His sword spirit calls him a cuck.
Which is so good.
It's like, you fucking forgot everything that easy, you fucking bitch.
Right?
Byakuya remembers his dead wife. Yamamoto has a pointless captain's meeting with Soifan.
Good God,
Yes.
does he?
God, I was so excited. Like, yes, Soifon's here. Now it's time for somebody else to suck worse than Renji.
Oh, come on.
Man, it's so sad what filler does to her.
Yeah, and it's been so relentless about it.
Ichigo goes to the Rukon district and finds Rukia on a hill with the ghost people. She doesn't remember Ichigo or Kon and calls Kon a fuzzy little freak. That's a direct quote, which I think is pretty good. Side guy attacks Ichigo and they scrap a little bit. He can turn on a mode where the scythe can pass through Ichigo's Zanpakuto, but he still can't hit Ichigo because Ichigo is faster than light. Anyway, they all teleport away. Mayuri's in prison confused. Urahara shows up and talks to him. Mayuri had a brain with electrodes in it in a jar in his room, which is not that weird, I guess. That kind of tracks.
That track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Urahara found it, and he says they can use this to regain their memories. Ichigo mopes. Kon gives him a pep talk about him and Rukia still be connected, and then is like, Ichigo, you're being soy, so I'm leaving, and then Kon runs off. Rukia and the two go back to the house. Rukia starts to remember things and collapses, and the two get pissed about Soul Reapers again. Ichigo flashes back to Rukia writing the letter. Him and Kon babble some more. Hitsugaya, Ikaku, and Yumachika show up with a bunch of guys. These should be Kenpachi's guys, but he's sealed in the would easily resolve the movie dimension.
Yeah, Yamamoto said, I've sent Squad 10 and a few volunteers. I'm like, they're Kenpachi's guys. It's going to be, they just need to get them with Hitsugaya.
Ichigo now has capital R resolve and says if even they forgot him, he won't forget them. Ikaku jumps forward and attacks him, but Ichigo can easily handle him because he knows all his moves. Hitsugaya engages next, and he pins Ichigo to the wall with Aikido and tries to own him, but Renji shows up to help. Renji says even if he doesn't remember Ichigo, his soul says Ichigo isn't an enemy. Then Yamamoto shows up with every other captain and pisses and moans because it's all he does, and then sicks the stealth force. Yamamoto's biggest thing is go die. We have all the actual strong people here, and we know this dude has a Bankai, but all you go die. Then Urahara shows up in a captain's Haori, which is weird.
Yeah.
And he owns all the Stealth Force because, of course, he does. They're jokes. They're fucking not real. They've never been real. Really, all they exist to do is take creep shots of Yoruichi for Soifon.
Yeah, most productive they've ever fucking been.
We cut to the cum disaster, and the siblings are floating over it, and the girl gloats. The guy is afraid they destroyed so much of Rukia's memory she might never recover. And then she's like, if she remembers the thing that happened, something bad will happen. So they're going to destroy Soul Society so Rukia can be with them forever. Urahara and Yamamoto talk. Soifon turns on like her dumb Nazi mode from the filler arc again and has to be stopped by Yoruichi when she goes to attack Urahara. Urahara says the same people are fucking with everybody's memories, and he says, Ichigo, you go deal with them with Renji while I explain what's going on, I guess. There's no time to explain, and I stick by that. Renji and Ichigo run through the Rukon district. Renji sort of remembers Rukia, but he still can't, not really. Ichigo explains why he cares about Rukia. We cut back to Urahara. He explains that everybody lost part of their memories. When Urahara was in Soul Society, he was studying a parasitic hollow that can affect memories. That hollow joined with another power and erased Rukia's time as a Soul Reaper. This affected everyone else's memories and also made them forget Ichigo since he met everyone through Rukia. Ichigo could remember her because his powers were originally her powers. The reason nobody forgot Mayuri is because Mayuri backed up his memories on the brain jar. This works because all memories are connected because my heart. Renji and Ichigo are tracking Rukia using Kone's sense of smell?
Look, they didn't want to put the mod souls into this because they were cowards.
That's true.
Renji says they can use a spirit ribbon because Ichigo's spiritual composition is similar to Rukia's blah, 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 Star Trek technobabble.
Look.
Blah, blah, Renji's bad at this, but he can still do it, blah, blah.
I clap because they haven't talked about spirit ribbons since we left the Soul Society the first time.
You know, in an anime, when a character's... Oh, yeah? When
They brought them up for one scene in the Bount arc to say they couldn't do anything with them.
Christ, come on, that doesn't
count.
You know a scene in an anime when a character absolutely loses their mind, they get that mind break, their pupil contracts so hard, it's like a single dot. That was me during that scene, remembering the spirit ribbon. I'm just like, wait, that shit was real. When did was that real? I started going insane. So I'm like, yeah, that is in this anime. It's been years.
Rukia and the bad guys are at Mayuri's tower again. They're trying to do something with the cum snakes.
Who knows what?
Rukia wants them to stop, but the girl gets upset and her dark power goes apeshit. It starts like blowing shit up all over Sarate. Ichigo runs directly at it as the power makes shit teleport and fall from the sky. And Renji remembers his Bankai, which lets him defeat the rubble.
Yeah, look, Renji needs a win, and he can beat Rubble.
They're like, here's a cool character moment. Play the music. Renji will defeat these rocks. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad.
They get on it and ride it towards Rukia. He launches Ichigo at the giant shit pile. Rukia and the villains are inside. The girl's going crazy because she hates Soul Reapers. She flashes back to why, but we don't get to clearly see it. Then Ichigo and Renji burst through the wall. Ichigo makes Rukia remember, kind of, and we get some reused footage. And the two villains who still do not have fucking names, which is really fucking annoying for the purposes of recapping this for a show on the internet.
Yep.
Go ape shit and like erupt in dark power, and they swallow up Rukia and turn her into evil Grim Reaper's Rukia, who is a reference to the Bleach prototype called Snipe.
Really?
Yes, because in that original prototype, Soul Reapers just had normal scythes.
Huh. Yeah, I love that this is credited as Dark Rukia, because as I'm trying to look up who does the voice of the dude, the nameless duo, I'm like, that is just Uryu, right? I'm not crazy. I ran into Dark Rukia, and I'm like, excuse me, what's about to happen in this movie? And it was like 1 minute before it happened.
She gets silver hair, so I just kept being like, she's gone Ultra Instinct.
Rukia Blanco?
Yes, Rukia Blanco.
So Rukia tells them she'll make everything disappear and owns Renji and Ichigo and causes the cum snake apocalypse as it comes from the tower and floor and everywhere all over fucking Sarate. It becomes this big Cthulhu knockoff of semen covered in eyes and tentacles.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Ichigo fights Rukia from atop the cum tower. All the captains are like, damn, this is bullshit. And Urahara says, everybody has to do the holding the bad thing back shit from the last movie.
But maybe we'll pay for the animation this time.
What is actually causing this is some shit Mayuri made they don't really explain.
Yeah, I kind of like it in a not entirely sincere way how the main thread of the movie has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah. Yamamoto hits the monster really hard and it loses an arm, and all the captains go do the things. The captains beat up tentacles. One of the tentacles accidentally smashes Kenpachi free, so Kenpachi, we get the required scene of Kenpachi beating on the infinitely regenerating threat. Where he's like, God, do you think the Bleach, like the people who write these Bleach movies are like, we have to write something Kenpachi can't just kill. This is really hard, actually.
Yeah, and they never want to take the easy route of don't put it in Soul Society.
Yeah, they sure never seem to figure that one out. Ichigo continues to fight Rukia, but is getting owned because he can't really fight Rukia. The ghosts want to shear Ichigo's memories of Rukia so they can have her all to her themselves. Standard blah blah, fight it, Rukia, our souls won't forget each other stuff.
Why does he sound like Duke Nukem?
The captains say they got to get past the big monster to destroy Mayuri's bullshit MacGuffin. Then Byakuya shows up and makes a portal with Senbon Sakura. Somehow, I guess that's a thing he can do now.
Yeah, what the
thank God. I thought I just forgot he could do that.
Yeah, I was unclear. I was like, maybe he's carving, like, making a tunnel that he's going to fly through to be safe. But then he seems to just teleport.
The tunnel collapses and he's not there, and later he's somewhere else. And I'm like, this isn't... Why did you write this?
Look, he used his power to shred himself down to a molecular level and then reconstruct himself
God.
somewhere else.
There's some more shit at captains fighting tentacles.
Oh, cool.
Rukia continues to fight. Ichigo continues to fight Rukia, and she gets behind him and is going to cut him. But Byakuya appears and locks her down with a ceiling hado. Byakuya is then like, my responsibility, and it's going to just kill her. Ichigo is like, no, our bonds though. And then Kon begs Ichigo to save her. He also at some point was trapped in the cum. Like, I don't think we saw it, but he is now sealed in the cum.
No, we did see it. There's like one scene of him bouncing off a wall and then getting gooped.
Okay, so that is a very fitting thing for Kon to be trapped in.
Oh.
Ichigo powers up and impales Rukia, and I guess the idea is this connects their powers again, so Rukia can remember and dispels everything. And the two villains are beat up nearby, and Rukia goes and talks to them, so we can finally fucking see what happened. A Soul Reaper possessed by the Memory Hollow attacked them and killed them despite Rukia trying to protect them. The twins also had magic teleportation powers and fused with the Hollow and ended up in Hueco Mundo. This is really fucking overly complicated. You couldn't come up with anything better than this?
I literally told Bob 5 minutes before this happened, I'm like, I'm really glad this didn't write any bullshit into the fucking lore of Bleach to have a thing that cribbed from something else but is completely insane. I'm liking that about this movie a lot. And then this happened, I'm like, oh, of course, you're also that other guy they just fought at the end of the actual canon shit we went through.
We already have an event where a Hollow fuses with somebody from Soul Society and ends up in Hueco Mundo. Mm-hmm. Like, we did not need a new mechanic for this.
Yeah,
No,
like the
add another
teleportation
layer.
thing is just like, why is that even here? Rukia could have been unconscious for who knows how long, so they'd be gone by the time she woke up anyway.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of the last Bleach movie where fucking the guy in that, whose name I already fucking forgot because it doesn't matter. It's like, I was revived in Hueco Mundo. Because that's like the thing they like now, I guess.
Look, there are 3 places in this show's cosmology. The Seirete, Karakura Town, Hueco Mundo. End of possibilities.
I'm waiting for the movie that's like, I was revived in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's Burn the Witch. Anyway, Rukia finally remembers the names she gave them, which is Homura and Shizuku, and then they die again, and then it rains. And then Rukia and Ichigo have a brief conversation at their grave after, and it ends. The end! Oh, but not quite. There's an after-credit scene where they forgot Kon and he's still trapped in the cum. He gets so frustrated he breaks out and yells about being forgotten. That's it.
Thanks, Cone.
That's fucking movie.
Golden.
No. No,
Bronze.
not without incident.
Thank you, Chris, for letting us get through this film.
Film is really generous as a term.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's doing a lot of lifting here. But we gotta get into our segments. We gotta talk about who is the best dressed in this movie, whereas all of it's entirely made up of just reappearances of old characters without new costumes. So, Dr. Egger, who is the best dressed?
Oh, I mean, that's easy. I've got to give it up to the character who looked like they snuck backstage at a Peter Pan the Musical production, grabbed one of the Peter Pan costumes, and ironically bleached the thing.
That is how she fucking looks. She looks like fucking Rufio.
Right? Like those jaggies on the end of her garment, that's not actual cloth wear. That's your mom taking scissors to a shirt to make a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Yes. It's insane that, like you said, the Peter Pan thing, and I'm like, oh my God, she looks like she's from Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they showed up, I'm like, oh, we're doing a fairy thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dan, who do
Dark
you think?
Rukia.
Darn it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Look at
That's
this.
why I didn't pick her.
Look at this.
It's over.
This is so good.
It's the
so
only
good.
good outfit in the show.
I was like, oh my God, she should just show up in a blaze blue. She's fucking.
I feel like
Look at
she's
that.
already been stolen for that.
I feel like she probably has, but I'm just blanking on this shit. I don't know how, but like, yeah, no, she absolutely. Somehow they did the palette swap. They changed the eye color, hair color. She just became a fighting game character, like just straight up.
Well, Chris, do you have anyone?
Do you have anyone? Sounds so sad.
I'm going to give it to Mayuri because he's gone back to the old boomerang head look, which I think is pretty solid.
Okay, I was wondering if you're going to choose that or the one where he doesn't have a headpiece and you can see his hair.
Yeah,
That
was
is
something.
very strange looking.
It really
Right.
is.
I guess I have to choose from this barren wasteland now. I'm going to choose Captain Urahara. He's wearing a captain's gi. Isn't that
Because
funny?
he had an outfit.
Yes.
I swear Rukia could have won this movie like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Rukia is so great. I gotta do a shout out for Dark Rukia. Absolutely amazing. Brain dead shonen bullshit fucking invention. I love it. You fucking held L2 while selecting Rukia.
She looks like she teaches Hiten Mitsurugi on the weekends.
Is Dark Rukia in the games? Dark Rukia's got to be in one of the games, right?
Who knows?
I assume she's in fucking Brave Souls because fucking everybody's in that except Jinkaria. Hey, what's the fucking deal?
Yeah. I don't get it. Oh, she's in Bleach.
That's
Heat the Soul
bullshit.
6.
Oh, wow. They got the 6 and they didn't put Jinkaria in? What are they doing?
She's also in Brave Souls.
Okay.
Great. You can put please Dark Rukia.
I'm so
Whatever
fucking
you want.
excited.
Speaking of being excited, Dan,
Oh?
how excited are you to continue watching Bleach now?
Oh my God, we're back again in Bleach. Thank you, God. Right? Thank you. It's been so long. I didn't think the movie would make it feel worse. I was like, it's a movie. Those are fun. And then this one was, hey, you remember how we movies like to do a dumber version of what's already in the canon content? I'm like, please, you were doing so well.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that the first movie gave us expectations that these movies might be good at all.
Yeah, that first movie's
Yeah.
so good. I'm just going to think about that one and be sad through every movie. Speaking of which, do we only have one more?
Only one more movie, and I'm excited because I remember the next one actually being good.
That is so bizarre that they only made 4 Bleach movies.
It is weird.
Is it because,
They only had 3 settings and 1 plot?
After Dragon Ball, they kind of shied away from doing these movies as much. With Dragon Ball, it was every year, and they don't feel the need to do that with newer series.
Naruto got way more though. I think it might be that
Did
Bleach
it?
started to like peter out.
Yeah, let me check how many Naruto
Oh,
movies.
God.
Yeah, there are a lot of Naruto movies.
There is...
Yeah, there are. Holy shit.
There's 11 of them. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than I expected.
See, I knew there were at least 8, so that's why Bleach only having 4 always confused me. I'm like, what do you mean 4? That just seems wrong. Are you sure you didn't lose one?
Just the Lost Quincy movie.
Yes.
You know what? That sounds better than half of the movies, you know? Easy.
Chris, did you bring any insane trivia?
Yes, I did.
Or did he?
Huh?
According to commentary by Kubo, in the official magazine, the Seirei Communication, which is the magazine that Shuhei has been an editor of in the past and previous Goldens, Renji does an article anonymously on how to pick up women, and it is very popular, despite him having no experience with women. Is this true or false?
This is too specific. I'm going to go with true.
Dan?
I'm going to say true because it is deeply observational of the human condition.
Aggro.
You cannot introduce to me the idea of a universe in which this exists and then take it away. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you. This is true.
Sadly, it is not.
You son of a bitch!
How dare you do this to us?
This is too much.
However, the reality is even funnier. Renji's articles for the magazine are where he gives you tips on how to win fights.
That's that.
Other articles that run in this magazine are Mayuri running an article called Medicine for the Brain, where he talks about current medicines and gives detailed reports on every experiment he does.
Ooh.
Great. Oh, yeah, Dan, I forgot that last section was 1 to 10. Do you have a 1 to 10 on this? If you want,
it's a 10.
Oh,
I'm
great.
very excited to watch real Bleach again. I'm so tired of the taste of sawdust.
Yeah, that's what all these filler things really are, isn't it?
After 22 episodes and a movie. Yeah.
Well, I guess we gotta wrap this up and figure out what our final thoughts on the film Bleach Fade to Black are on our tightness scale, which is 0 to 25. Dr. Edgar, how tight was this?
I'm so sorry, you guys. I loved this movie. I loved every moment of it. I thought the concept of the villains was neat. I thought the ending scene where all the captains fight cum snakes for 10 minutes whipped all kinds of ass. Dark Rukia. I mean, come the fuck on. I thought this was the most brilliant reason ever that so far to redo the Seirete arc, just with, some different shots this time. I got to see Byakuya stare mournfully at a picture of his dead wife, and that's always the highlight of my day. This movie just fucking ruled. I'm giving it like a 24.
Shit.
Chris, what did you think?
So I watched this in probably the least favorable circumstances possible. I finished writing the notes for 7 episodes of the Shusuke Amagai arc and was like, might as well get ahead.
Oh, no.
Might as well just get this out of the way now. It's just a movie. How bad could it be? It's better than the last Bleach movie, which just had where I was just seethingly angry the entire time.
Reminder, you gave that one a 0, so we don't have the scale to be worse.
I think this movie has visually interesting things. I think it kind of spins its wheels a little bit and has Ichigo fight so many people for such brief periods. It's frustrating rather than cool. So I guess I'll give this like a 13.
Dan, what do you think?
I actually liked most of this movie. It was pretty neat. There's some funny things. There's also the constant Soul Society tropes. I really like when the captain shows up, the main dude, and they're just like, he's like, okay, stealth squad, go die. Go die in Ichigo in front of us. And then when that's de-escalated, he's like, then I'm going to escalate things. And for some reason, they're like, it's okay. Urahara's here to calm him down. And I'm like, that's gonna work in your brain? That would work?
He just gets so nostalgic when Urahara shows up. He can't stop. He's just like, oh man, this guy, I love him.
I feel like there's a bit more of a doesn't this motherfucker owe me $22 energy going on there.
Probably.
But yeah, I didn't hate this movie. It's not the second movie, but it's nowhere near as good as the first. The first is really, really neat. However, I come out of this fairly positive. I'm going to give it a 16. Yeah, it's really, it's better than most of the filler.
Yeah. I guess I gotta talk about it now. I actually also kind of enjoyed this movie. It's like we just said, a lot better than the last movie. I think that the animation looks really nice, and they actually chose some good fight scenes to see just the little bits of and get some nice looking stuff going. And I think the visuals around these reishi snakes look really cool.
I'm sorry. We went through this whole arc where there was this enormous shortage of reishi because we were saving it up and we got a little backed up, and then this movie started and it just kind of exploded.
Oh man, could you fucking imagine if Ryu was here? He would be so powerful right now. This is his natural environment.
Oh man, that would have actually made this movie at like a 25.
Oh yeah, it would have been in the 20s for me if Uryu's like, look at all this reishi. I'm so strong now. And then he started taking it into his body. Holy Christ, that would be amazing. He would never live it down. No.
But anyway, I'm going to give it a 17. I actually enjoyed my time with it. It's an enjoyable Shonen Jump movie, which those are real hit or miss.
You know what? Okay, hey, Bob.
What's up?
I'm sorry, I don't usually do this. I'm going to add one more point for the reason of Dark Rukia.
Dark Rukia is good.
I was thinking of all of the movie outside of Dark Rukia, you know, how it was written, the animation quality, et cetera, et cetera. I kind of didn't think about Dark Rukia when I gave it 16. It's clearly 1 point higher than that. It has Dark Rukia.
Yeah, obviously.
Which is so good. I'm literally going to go try that Bleach game as soon as we get done with this show so I can play as Dark Rukia as soon as humanly possible.
One thing this movie does that makes it very, very valuable to me personally is that at the end of the film, we didn't really make sure that we didn't forget anybody else and that nobody else was locked in like the hollow parasite mind dimension. We didn't devise a test or foolproof this. So yay, everyone remembers Rukia and Ichigo. What about squads 14 through 20? No? Nobody remembers those guys? Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Mayuri's cringe compilation was uploaded.
Right.
So that way they could be remembered.
I gotta say, guys, I was scared the whole movie we'd see in one of those background shots some of those jobbers dudes from Squad 3 from the filler arc.
From Amagai's squad?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You know, the made up dudes. Luckily we didn't.
Yeah. Thank God. I honestly thought the resolution of this film was going to be some weird time travel shit.
Yeah, instead it's almost like a Westerner where it's just like, we did the event, it's over, go away.
Uh-huh. So, Bob.
Yeah.
You remember that fourth movie.
Mm-hmm. Vaguely.
Is it, as you vaguely recall, better than this one?
I vaguely recall that, yes.
Then I'm vaguely excited.
It deals with hell, which, you know, that's a cool thing about the Bleach universe we haven't seen since that first arc.
Oh my god, we saw that in the first arc?
Yeah, they, like, one of the first hollows they get, the portal to hell shows up and takes him.
Sweet fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
Wait, so the Rukon district is where you go if you don't go to hell?
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's just no winning here. So really, the next time the ass pull is going to be even stronger than the spirit ribbon. Because I didn't remember hell.
Right?
Huh. Wait, you know, obviously no hard number. Like, don't hold us to this, but how far out is us watching this movie?
Here's the thing. I haven't checked it all.
Let me check. I can check right now. Yeah, we should be roughly 100 episodes of Bleach away. So depending on how fast we pop through those filler arcs, if there are any in that time, which of course there will be, it's 100 episodes. Yeah, so anywhere from a year to 18 months before we have to cover that one.
Yeah, holy God.
Right?
Wow, that seems so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, luckily everything between here and there is gonna be great, right, guys? Right.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, we should just go right now so we don't think about how good or bad they will be.
Just not think about Bleach until we have to, and then not remember this optimism. Hey, before you down that jug of bleach, how about you head on over to patreon.com/gbpodcast. You can get the next episode of Chugging Bleach early and help support us doing insane 7-year-long endeavors like watching all of Bleach. We also do many other shows that you can get extras for, and if you ascend to Vastopod Lourdes, you'll even get credit for it on Big Think Dimension, our weekly gaming podcast. If not, that's fine. We'll see you next time you're thirsty for some bleach. The executive producers for this GigaBoots video are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, A Reminder for Symphony of War, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and Rado. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.